Bend the knee, you bastard. Hey, what's going on, people? This is Don Willie coming back at you again with another video. This time I decided I'm taking the Game of Thrones accent challenge. So, first question, name, username, name of your blog. My name is Donald Williams, username Don Willie, and I don't have a blog. Second question, where do you live? I live in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, people always say that people from New York say it all kinds of funny. I don't get it, but, whatever. Third, pronounce these words. Westeros, Shekma, Shiraki, Annie, Cersei, Vase, Dothrak, Viserys, Zaro, Zoan, Daxus, Stark, Lannister, Baratheon, Deepwood Mott, Winter, Arya, Catelyn, Yunkai, Sigil, Khaleesi, Viserion, Drogon, Rhaegal, Daenerys, Aerys, Edric, Myrcella, Arion Martell, Melisandre, Vala Morghulis, Vala Daenerys, Ravos, Balon, Hizdar, Zalorak, Arak, Dalaris Ed, Lysa, Roose, Beric Dondarrion, R'hllor, Harrenhal, Gregor Clegane, Jaqen H'ghar, Meereen, Maester, Jane, Hodor. Which house are you from? Well, let's see. I guess, if I had to pick a house, Stark's cool, they got the whole honorable thing going on, and a lot of people like him. I like him too, even though sometimes they are a little bit of screw-ups there, but, pretty good. Which of the 5 kings do you fight for? Let's see here. Let's see. In the War of 5 Kings, you know what? I'll go with Robb. He's fighting for a righteous cause. They executed his dad, who was only trying to do the right thing. They stole his Valyrian blade and all that, man. So, yeah, I think he's got probably the most righteous cause out of all of them. Favorite character? You know what? I'm gonna go with the Tyrion Lannister. He's a pretty cunning guy. He's got a lot of book smarts, a lot of street smarts. Yeah, and also, yeah, he's just a pretty cool guy to hang around with. He gets drunk. He likes women, lots of naked women, lots of sex. So what's there not like about little Tyrion Lannister there? Favorite book: A Dance with Dragons. Mainly because, we get the introduction of young Griff. We get John Connington, his whole grayscale thing. He just wants to do the right thing by his boy. I'm hearing that they were supposedly lovers, or at least that he was in love with Rhaegar or whatever. So, that's cool. Daenerys finally gets to actually fly on a dragon. Stupid Quentin Martell tries to go in, release the dragons. Listen, you play with fire, you get burned, right? Favorite sigil and words. Favorite sigil and favorite words, two different things. My favorite sigil of all of them, and I'm going to say the Greyjoy Kraken, because, Krakens are the kind of badass that can rip apart your ships and all that. It, reminds me of first time I ever saw, what was that movie? Clash of the Titans. Not the newer one with the fake Terminator guy. The old one from back in the 80s with the nice claymation skulls and all that stuff. Favorite words? There actually isn't any favorite words that I have right now. But if I was going to come up with some words, they would be the words of House Frey, with friends like us. North, south, or across the narrow sea. I happen to like snow a bit. I'm from New York, and we get a lot of snow out here. I have no problem shoveling. I have no problem making snowmen and all that. So, yeah, I'd have to say the North. Who do you think will sit on the Iron Throne in the end? I don't think that anybody is going to actually be sitting on the Iron Throne. Given prophecies and all that other kind of stuff, I think that we're in for a lot of death and destruction. I don't think there will be a centralized kingdom after all this is said and done. I think we're uh, pretty much in for possible democracy or something of the like. Shaggy Dog, Grey Wind, Summer, Lady, Nymeria, or Ghost. I'd probably say Ghost. He's very unique out of all of the wolves. He's the only one that's all one color. He's got the red eyes. He always follows John around. He seems to be a pretty capable fighter for a wolf. So yeah, Ghost. Would you join the Night's Watch? I don't know if I can actually do the whole swearing off women and all of that. Like look, if it was either my head or the Night's Watch, then maybe. But just to join, just to join that. Queen or Khaleesi? So the funny thing is, Queen and Khaleesi ain't exactly the same thing, right? Queen, Khaleesi's don't seem to wear any kind of jewelry or anything, and if I was gonna be one of those, the hell with it. I want the damn crown. I want all the jewels and all that other good stuff. So yeah, Queen. Dragons or direwolves? Dragons are a little bit more independent. They can go and feed themselves. You ain't got to walk them or anything. Plus, they're generally badass. Look, if I ever want to go for a flight, nobody's got any planes around there, so just hop on a dragon, fly around, see what's around there. Find out if there's anything beyond the Sunset Sea. Yeah, dragons. Which gods do you pray to? I'd say the old gods, because the old gods don't really have any rules or anything like that. Not sure if I'd be doing any kind of sacrifices to any weirwood trees though. Yeah, the old gods are cool by me. So my favorite line from the series, probably not from the books. Yeah, I'd have to say my favorite line from the series comes from the TV show. Actually, my favorite line from the series actually doesn't come from the books. It actually comes from the TV show, and that is when Tyrion asked Varys, "Where's the god of tits and wine?" I'm all about tits and wine. So there you go. Anyway, this has been part one of my accent challenge, stereotypical New York accent. Just so you guys know, this ain't how most people from New York sound, So yeah, there you go. Okay, but you watch movies, watch some TV there, and you think that most people from New York kind of sound like this. All right, not true, not true at all. Anyway, you guys already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, come back for more. That's been my time. Don Willie, I'm out.